Pepper is hydrophobic, therefore it does not dissolve in water. The flakes also are less dense, so they just float on water. In addition to this, water molecules produce surface tension, keeping the less dense particles afloat. Now soap, the magic ingredient, has the ability to break surface tension, but the water molecules still want to keep the surface tension going, so they pull away from the soap and carry the light pepper along with them. To summarize, pepper flakes float on water because they are less dense and water has surface tension. Soap breaks surface tension. Water molecules tend to pull away from the soap to retain surface tension. When you press on the X, it will turn backwards with respect to the motion of the tube in horizontal rotation. With the tube moving forward and the X spinning backwards, the velocity of X is reduced, unlike O, which spins forward alongside its vertical motion, causing it to seem to rotate faster. The result is that we can see the X more clearly in our reference frame as compared to O. To summarize, PVC pipe here is a rigid body rotating about its own axis and horizontally along the floor. The rotation of the X part contradicts the spinning of the tube horizontally. Total displacement of X is less than the total displacement of O. Velocity of X is less than velocity of O. The cylinder is also a rigid body, spinning about its axis, but moving linearly on the floor. However, ours has an internal pendulum which is free to rotate about its pivot point. As we push the cylinder forward, the wheels spin forward, and with it, the nuts inside causing a torsion to the rubber bands. As the bonds become more twisted, the potential energy increases. When the pendulum reaches the state where the strings can no longer be twisted, a restoring force will act on the rubber bands, helping them to unwind to again reach their equilibrium state. This unwinding movement causes the cylinder to spin backwards, returning to its original position. To summarize, kinetic energy is translated into spring potential energy, as the spinning motion created torsion. At the point where the cylinder stopped moving, the potential energy is highest, and as it started moving again, the potential energy decreases. The major factor that prevents the larger weight from hitting the ground is friction. This is caused by the number of times the smaller weight loops itself around the pivot. A pendulum swings from one side to the other. With the case of this setup, the smaller weight makes a full loop around the pivot, decreasing its distance from the pivot and therefore increasing its velocity. With its velocity increased, the number of complete loops it makes around the pivot also increases. When the distance of the smaller weight from the pivot is at its minimum, the larger weight stops from falling. To summarize, there were two weights in this trick. The one smaller has higher gravitational potential energy, and due to tension, it swings to the other side and completes full revolutions. By doing so, it shortens its length and increases its velocity. The loop created by the smaller weight now prevents the larger weight from falling.